Are you a gamer? You like music? And you're wanting to get into hi-fi audio? I've got a recommendation for a $150 headphone that I do not think you can miss out on. What's cracking, everyone? My name is Ryan, and today I want to talk to you guys about the Beyerdynamic TYGR 300R headphone. Now, this is a $150 headphone from Beyerdynamic, and it is said to be geared towards us gamers out there. And I want to talk to you today about the specifications of the device, build quality and comfort, of course sound, and give you a few comparisons to hopefully help you decide if this is going to be your next choice for your gaming headphone needs. So let's get right into it. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the technical specifications of the Beyerdynamic 300R, TYGR 300R. They're great. First of all, this is about 290 grams of weight, so it is a pretty lightweight headphone. It is velour pads that are on here, and they are very cushiony, and they don't they don't contour, they don't stay. They're not like a memory foam type material on the stock pads. The headband itself is also very comfortable. It's a pleather type material, but it's got good cushion to it. Putting it on your head, it feels really lightweight in the head. The clamp force is not bad at all, to be honest. It seals very well, but it's not going to be really tight or anything of that nature. And then this is a 32 ohm headphone. It's got 96 dB of sensitivity. It's about 5 to I think 20,000 kilohertz frequency response. So the extension of the bass is going to go down pretty low. I'll get to that in the sound portion, but it's overall just a very comfortable headphone, and it's built pretty nice. I mean, this is it is plastic on the cups. You got some metal here on the yokes, but overall, for $150, I've got no problem with the build. The only thing I do have a problem with, and this is more just a Beyerdynamic thing, is just the cables. I want detachable cables. And I know they've heard this feedback from many people, so hopefully that'll start happening a little bit more often. But this cable is attached. There are modifications that you can do. There's modifications that others will do for you should you choose to do so. But for $150, this is what you get with the attached cable, and it's decent length enough. I don't have a problem with that. I just wish it was detachable. That's all. It's all right. So sound-wise, we care about sound, don't we? Of course we do. So the TYGR 300R is a somewhat V-shaped sound, and I think that is why it is such a good gaming headphone, because V-shaped sound signatures just work really well for games. When I say V-shape, I mean there's going to be some cutout in the mid-range there. The reason why that's good is because I've listened to some headphones that are more of a neutral sound and have a great frequency response for music listening, and then I throw them onto a game and all the sounds of the game are coming at me equally, and sometimes that can be very fatiguing. With this particular headphone, this thing sounds fantastic and it's not fatiguing when I'm gaming. So, to go into that a little bit more in detail, it's got good bass extension, which means that it does extend down pretty low and you actually hear it and feel it. It's not just there subtly, but it doesn't also overpower the mid-range or overpower the treble. It's got good balance there so that it doesn't do that and muddy up your sound. And then also the treble region, it's got that Beyerdynamic spiciness to the treble sometimes. It can be somewhat sibilant at times, probably not as bad as some other Beyers that I've heard or other Beyers that other people have heard, but it's definitely there. If you're sensitive to that, just know that going into it. But that is where the treble actually can help for gaming. Think about footsteps, those sounds, things like that, that is going to kind of help you out to pinpoint things. And since I'm talking about pinpointing, let's talk about imaging too. So imaging there for the TYGR 300R is really good. And when I say imaging, I'm talking about sound came from over there, I'm looking over there. Sound comes from over here, I'm looking over there. So you get the idea. That's what imaging is, and this images very well. I'm able to hear those sounds perfectly fine when I'm gaming. And then the sound stage, which is, the depth, the width of the sound that you're hearing, is also very good. If I hear a gunshot firing off in a game and it's coming from out there in that direction, I'm getting the sense that it's out there in that direction, not up close to me, and it's throwing you off in that sense. So that's where soundstage is important, and it's good for gaming. So I've talked about gaming all this time and I haven't really touched on music listening much. And there is a reason for that, and I'm going to talk about that right now. So for music listening, a V-shaped signature isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just really depends on the genre of music that you're listening to. But if you're a serious music listener, I do think for $150, there are other options out there that you're going to find that you will enjoy better. When I think of the Sennheiser 560S, that is one that's always recommended in that $150 range. You're going to have some trade-offs from the TYGR when it comes to gaming, but when it comes to music, I think you're going to be more satisfied there. It's got a more balanced frequency response, not just that one, but some other ones in that range too. And if you get more sense of a mid-range on a headphone, that will work better with music, in my opinion. And of course, there's bass headphones, there's peaky treble headphones out there as well. Just know that, there's going to be some differences there from the TYGR. I kind of lost where I was going with that. Sorry about that. So yeah, I'm not saying this is bad for music listening. I'm just saying that I do think there's better options out there if that's what you're looking into. But if you're a gamer and you love music too, I don't also think that it's like you're going to be listening to this for gaming and suddenly you're going to be like, I need to take this off and go find something else for my music. It's kind of annoying. You don't have to do that. You can still get a general good listen out of this. Just know that if you're a serious music listener, I'd probably go with something else for an alternative when you're not gaming. That makes sense. All right, so I told you guys I wanted to give you some sound comparisons and things that are comparable to the TYGR 300R depending on your budget that you're looking at. So first of all, let's go to a lower budget headphone, and that would be my trusty Koss Porta Pros. So now you're talking about a $40 to $50 headphone from Koss. Now, if you put the Yaxi pads in here like I have, then you're looking at another $12 or so. So, somewhere around $60 with the Yaxi pads. But what you get for that is another good quality headphone that is really fun for gaming. Now, I say fun for gaming because this is not something I would use for competitive gaming at all, because this does have a darker tune signature in the treble, which means footsteps and things like that probably aren't going to be heard quite as pinpoint accurate. But still, I mean, there's actually some decent enough soundstage and good enough imaging with the Koss Porta Pros to make this a great gaming headphone. It's a great immersion gaming headphone, in my opinion, for the price. And the nice thing about the Koss Porta Pro, it's so lightweight and so easy to take with you that you got a Steam Deck, you got a Switch, anything portable like that. This is going to be something that's going to be great to take with you. It's not bulky or anything. It folds up really nice. So definitely a top recommendation for me in that low, under $80 range headphone for gaming. All right, and so then if you wanted to go a step above the TYGR 300R, I've got another one for you that I've done a review on, and I want to break back out because this truly is a great gaming headphone, and I'm going to show that to you right now. Hopefully that's focusing right there, but this is the Harmonic Dyne Zeus. Now this one retails in about $350. Now nowadays you can find these used quite often for around the $200 to $250 range, which makes this a really good deal in my opinion. Not that the $350 is not, but now this is a good music headphone as well, as much as it is, I would say, a gaming headphone. Now to me, because I am a gamer, sorry, I'm going to set these down on the table there, but to me, because I am a gamer, I really feel like the Zeus is, for me, better for gaming than it is for anything else, just because the Zeus has a nice, wide, expansive soundstage. It's not an HD 800 type soundstage from Sennheiser, but it's actually pretty close to that. I mean, it's good. It's really wide. It's definitely more wide than the TYGR 300, and the imaging here is so pinpoint accurate. I actually was doing some sample tracks from Chesky's. If you ever look them up, they've got a lot of audio, binaural recordings that are good for testing imaging, soundstage, timbre, just all kinds of things to do with sound. And I did that test with the Harmonic Dyne Zeus up against the TYGR 300R, and the imaging's definitely better on the Zeus, and the soundstage is definitely wider on the Zeus. It's not miles, better or anything like that, but it justifies the price. And also, the Zeus does have detachable cables, so you have the option of doing different kind of cables with this. The pads are, pretty comfortable as well. The headband's probably not as comfortable as a TYGR, and it's also heavier than the TYGR. So just know that. Probably not something that I would say is necessarily as travel oriented, but the Zeus is definitely still one of my best recommendations for a gaming headphone, especially if you're looking at that $300 to $350 range. I do not think you can go wrong with something like the Harmonic 9 Zeus. The last thing I did not touch on was amplification. Now you can power all of these headphones that I showed you guys off of a phone, laptop, anything like that, off of a Nintendo Switch, you know, the Xbox controller, things like that. They've got the plugins for it, so it's going to be amplified just fine. However, if you do have an amplifier, I do think you're going to get a little better sound quality, especially if you got something with some juice. Doesn't have to have a ton of juice, but you know, something as simple as like a Magni Modi stack, a shit stack, that's going to be around, you know, $300. It's a good starting stack to get into. It's what I personally got into, and it just upped the, you know, the sound quality just enough to where it was awesome. And then you can start swapping in other headphones into it, and you kind of get where I'm going there. That is the rabbit hole that is audio, so we're not going to get too far into that. All right, everyone, hopefully this video helped you decide if the TYGR 300R is right for you, or maybe some of the other options I mentioned here. Either way, I personally like a TYGR 300R. It was interesting because I had been listening to like my Atrium, my Otur Classic, you know, the MM500, you know, these higher end headphones that I thought were just, you know, you can't get any better than this. And then I popped this back on, I popped the Zeus back on, and I remembered how much these are just amazing for gaming. And, you know, I'm talking about a $150 headphone compared all the way up to a $2,500 headphone. I actually enjoyed the TYGR a little bit better, at least for playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. That's saying a lot, right? I mean, price doesn't always justify experience and justify our pleasure that we get from something like an audio device. So hopefully you like this video. If so, you know, smash that like button for me. Please subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot of content I put out and plenty more things to do here through the rest of the season and into beyond. Into beyond. The hell does into beyond? Into beyond. All right, sorry, off on a tangent. All right, so I will let you guys get back to doing whatever it is that you do. I'm going to get back to not losing track of what I'm saying here, right? And in the meantime, I will see you in the next one.